up, you guys? I am Nia. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. What it do? I wanted to talk to y'all today about God, though. I don't know what the title is going to be called, but it's, pretty much it's about God's grace. And so I'm just going to get into it a little bit. Because for one, we know that God sees everything. God sees everything. There's nothing that you or me is ever going to get away with, because God is always watching. He has angels appointed to watch over us. It's really levels to this thing. So you're never alone. And it's actually kind of creepy when I think about it, because it's like, and for me, I always be feeling like somebody's watching me. Like, I've always been like this, just feeling like somebody is watching. This is why I try to do right even when nobody's looking, period. When you think nobody's looking, because somebody always watching. But I was really doing these videos because a lot of people, will feel like you've done something bad and it might be against God, what God will want. And, I know a lot of people have grew up in like religious households and have been condemned for certain things, when those very people that's condemning you has also done things. And and we do it, we judge one another. I don't care if you say you don't, we all judge people. I think it's just human nature to judge things. But this is the thing, when you do certain acts, no matter what it is, a killing, cheating on your significant other, beating your wife, beating your kids, beating your man, like anything that will make you feel regretful. Sometimes we be hanging out with our friends, when you were younger, you might have did some things that you wish you never done. We all have a past. And you feel like because of what you've done, that God won't forgive you and God won't want you close to him because of what you've done. But you have to understand something about God. He is really our Father. And when we doing bad and when we doing good, he's still going to love you. He might not see eye to eye with you. He might not agree with what you've done. He might reprimand you and chastise you. He might give you a spanking, a beating for doing that as discipline. But he still love you. He still love you. He's still not going to turn his back on you unless you completely... honestly, I don't even want to say, he will, because he did say in the Bible, but he gives grace, and you just have to prove to him. It's like, because it's about trust. It's a relationship with him, and it's about trust, and he wants to know that he can trust you, just like you want to be able to trust him. Just like with your own parents. And when I look at it as the aspect, and a lot of us need to look at it in the aspect of God is our parent. He's the parent of all parents. He's the father. He is above your mother. He's above your father. He's above your great-great-great-granddaddy, he's above everyone. He is the father. And because of this, what you have to understand is, even with your own very parents, when you did stuff as a teenager, you did stuff, may have took your mama car. Some of y'all done did that. I was not that bold. My mama probably would have been that probably would have been 6 feet under if I would have did that. But some people have done these bad things to their parents, and your parents still loved you. I know my one friend, her sister, I'm never gonna forget, she took her mother Mustang and she crashed it. Like, she didn't mean to crash it, but she was young. You don't really know how to drive. You out there take your mom's fast car. I'm never gonna forget that, because her mom loved that car and she crashed it. But her mama still loved her. Did she get on her? Did she probably tear her butt up? She tore her up, but she still loved her. She probably made her work to redeem herself. She probably had to put in extra work, probably couldn't have no activities for summers, whatever her discipline was. She got the discipline for what she did, but her mom still loved her. So I'm saying all this to say is, we do things as children of God, and God will still love us. It doesn't mean he's going to be easy on us, But he will still give you grace if he sees that you're trying, if you're working to prove that you won't ever, to prove the trust that you'll never do that again. He wants to be able to trust you just like you want to trust him. So don't be afraid when things happen and when you mess up. Don't feel like you have to go run and hide. First of all, you can't hide from God. You see in the Bible, Adam and them, they tried to go hide behind a tree. Cain went and tried to cover his brother's blood. Even Moses, was it Moses who yeah, I think it was Moses who killed the Egyptian, and then you try to go hide and you try to, you act like nobody saw it. God sees everything. You ain't hiding nothing from him. So this is why it's better to be real with yourself. A lot of us do not like accountability. We want to place the blame on everybody else, and then we want to blame God for why we even did the wicked stuff that we did, why we even got ourselves into the wicked situations that we got ourselves into, when we cannot blame anybody else. You have to be able to take full accountability and own up to your stuff. So when you do these wicked acts, whatever it is that you've done, he'll forgive you. Even the murderers, the pedophiles, all of it. He will forgive you if he sees that you're diligently really trying, because he know your heart. He know your intentions. You can't play him like a fool. He's not stupid. He know you better than you know you. He know everything. But when you come to him with a truly repentant heart and you're really begging for forgiveness and you're really begging for deliverance from whatever that sin is, maybe you got a fetish for seeing bloodshed, or you got a fetish for messing with them kids, or that's just the extreme side of it. But it could be smaller things, your addictions to drugs, to alcohol, whatever it is. If you really go into repentance and beg him to help you, he will. It's going to take time because nothing happens overnight. He understands that. You need to understand it, and he understands it, but you need to understand it. It doesn't happen overnight. But what happens is if you take your baby steps every day, this is why you got to put the work in every day on yourself. You got to put in the work every day of trying to be better. Because when you do that, eventually, all the tiny steps that you take every day, by the end of the month, by the end of 6 months, by the end of a year, you'll see how you in a much further position than you was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. This is why it's about what you're doing every single day. But this is why it's about taking the baby steps. But don't feel like you got to go run and hide from God. You don't got to run and hide from him. He already know what you did anyway. You don't have to feel like, oh, now he's not going to be for you. And like you just did something that was so abominable that he won't. If you are working with him and not against him, he always going to be for you. That's why I always tell people, God gives multiple chances, not me. God is the forgiving and all that. I'm forgiven, but I'm not going to rock with you again. But God, that's the difference between me and God. And that's why I'm glad I'm not God, because I'm not doing that. But God, he'll forgive you. He'll see, okay, you really trying, because he know your heart. Me, I'm not sitting around waiting on you to, I don't have that patience. And honestly, God is teaching me patience. And, when you truly love a person, you do have to have forgiveness. But even for me, I have to see that you're really putting in that work over time. I have to really see that you're trying to change your behaviors. I have to see you putting in work every single day to become a better version of yourself. And if I don't see that, I ain't interested. I'm not interested, period. But all in all, you guys, don't feel like you got to run away from God. Confess your sins. Confess it to him. Whatever you're battling with, confess it to him. He is your Father. He loves you. He wants the best for you. He wanted this world. From the beginning of time, he wanted this world to be full of love, light, and peace. He wanted people to just obey his commands because he is the Father. Look at your parents. It's like people will give their regular fleshly parents all this respect and this honor, but we don't give that same honor to God. You'll listen to your parents, but you won't listen to God. You're seeking validation from your parents, but you're not seeking the validation from God. And that's why he allows a lot of these things to happen, is because He is a jealous God. He doesn't want no one before him, because no one is better than God. No one is as smart as God. No one is as wise. No one is as powerful. Nobody can come before. Nobody has it like him. Nobody has it. Your mama, your daddy, your grandmama. People love their grandmamas. Love your pop. Sorry, boo. But mama and pop are not better than God. Even mama and pop got to go to God, because they don't know everything, because they're human, they're flesh. We as flesh, we will never know everything. We did not create ourselves. We didn't create ourselves. And because we didn't create ourselves, we always have to look to God for direction. Always. When we do bad things, when we need advice, we are to go to God. God is to be at the forefront. And when we get ourselves into situations, for one, a lot of times we have not listened. Like I did in that video the other day, it was like, why does God let bad things happen to us? Because oftentimes God is telling you not to do that. Hey, don't get them. When you be like, something told me. I know a lot of y'all do it, because I've done it. I'm like, something told me. Something told me not to do that. Something told me not to go that way. Something told me to just wait 5 minutes before I leave out the house to go out today. Something told me to put this on. Something told me to choose that color over this color. Something told me. Something told me. It wasn't no something. That was the God in you. That was the God in you that told you that. It's your intuition. And if we learn to listen to it, if we learn to listen to the voice, these people that say they hear voices, all of us be hearing voices. Because you're hearing God's voice, or sometimes it might be the enemy voice. You got two voices. I seen something one day, though, that said God speaks through the right ear. Don't know how true that is. I'm going to do some research on that, because I wonder if that's why my right ear is the one that got messed up. Because that's the one where I heard, like, my heart, I started hearing my heart beating through my ear, before I got the surgery done, and it was messing up my hearing. And I'm an ear hustler. I told y'all I like the ear hustle. And it was messing me up from being able to hear. So I was like, we gotta get this surgery done, because that noise is so loud in my ear, and I can't hear like I normally can. And I wonder if that was the tricks of the enemy, because it's a rare condition. And I was like, is that tricks of the enemy? So when I saw that and they said God speaks in the right ear, I'm like, I wonder if that was a trick of the enemy. You try and block me so I couldn't hear. And ever since I got the surgery, honestly, ever since I got the surgery, I've started awakening. Like, that's literally, I got the surgery in the beginning of 2019, February 2019. And ever since then is when I've really been in my spiritual journey. Like, I was more lukewarm then, like one foot in, one foot out, but I had started to awaken. But all in all, I say all of this to say, you guys, we have to put God first. We have to know that we're not getting away with nothing. You ain't getting away with nothing. Nothing. Y'all think that the government watching everything we doing with the cameras, they ain't got nothing on God. God got that owl vision. He see miles and miles away. He got x-ray vision. He see through your house. He see through your windows. What people think they getting doing. And that's why I say it's a little creepy, because it's like, you be watching me. Well, not me now, because I don't have the, intercourse. But it be like, y'all watching, like the angels watching. And as I read the Bible, I'm like, the angels, the watchers, which is the angels, like we really are being watched, because angels are appointed to watch over the human race. That's their assignment. Everybody has assignment. Everything is about rank, and everything is about assignment. God has all his angels. I mean, look in the Bible. The cherubim had to block off the Garden of Eden so that no one could enter after they did what they did with going astray and letting the serpent trick them. There's different angels. There's a hierarchy of angels. I got a printout of it, but it's the cherubims. I think that's how you pronounce it. Cherubim, and then the cherubim, and then what's under that? I think it's virtues, powers, principalities, triad. Like, it's really levels, and then the lowest level is your regular angels, like what we would consider like Archangel Michael, Gabriel, all of them, they're at the lowest one because their job is to watch over the humans on earth. Why did this thing just get dark like that? But we're being watched. So it's nothing that you're going to get away with. So this is why it's important to do what's right even when nobody looking. Stop being peer pressured to do things that you know your spirit don't sit right with. Stop trying to do things to fit in, because many people have committed acts, especially like these young dudes in the streets. Even for the girls, you got other girls that's fast, that, you know, doing like to do different things that you ain't into, but because you want to fit in, now you going over here, you trying to dress like these girls, you trying to give your body, sell your body, do things that these other girls doing, not knowing the reason behind why they really do it. And same with the boys. You got boys that don't have to be in the streets, but because they see that the street boys get glorified, they see that the pretty girls, the baddies, the BBL girls want these type of want these type of guys. They see that these type of guys get street cred because they catch bodies, they tote guns, they got big money, flashy cars. So you got these other guys that want to fit in with them because they seeing what's cool. And now when you get around them and you see what they really got going on, you see that they really are working with the enemy. And they doing these sacrifices by taking bodies, shedding innocent blood, which is something that God don't want us to do. Now you seeing what they doing. So you jumping on bandwagon, and now you get with them and they convince you to go get your first body. And that ain't something that you really want to do, but you really want to fit in. You pressure to fit in. So now when you pressure to fit in, you go doing something, and now you're living with that regret after it's all said and done. You're living with that. That haunts you. And now you feel like, dang, what did I do? But I can't turn to God because I know I did this wicked stuff. But at any given moment, you can turn to God. Any given moment, you can turn to him. But you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You got to pick a side and stay there. And he's going to give you time with that because he know it ain't easy. He know it ain't easy. He know humans. He know us, bruh. He knows us. We don't know ourselves. We don't know us. We don't even know that, like I see it all the time with us as men versus women. We don't even know our assignment. Men don't even know. This one dude in the comments one day I saw, not my comments, somebody else's comments. He said men can be alone or something like that. Men cannot be alone. They're not designed to be alone. This is why when men leave one woman, he's going to go find another one and another one and another one. Men are not, I mean, it's in the book. It's in the book. That's why woman was even created, because man is not good for man to be alone. A man with an idle mind is not good. This is why I know for a fact he went to go messing with them animals. Loneliness, flesh on that meat, that foreskin, the extra meat that's on that thing that they had, got him feeling frisky. But all in all, it's like we be peer pressure into doing things that we really don't want to do. And then you're the one that have to live with the guilt with that stuff. And God saw you. And then now you like, well, I did this, so God's not going to forgive me. Or maybe you went to a church and they didn't accept you. So it made you be like, man, well, forget God. God is not the church. God and your pastor is two separate entities. Period. Your pastor is just a vessel that God may use. And then the rate of churches these days, not even just these days, because it's clearly been going on forever, because if the church was doing right for centuries, the black community wouldn't, people period, but because the Bible was literally made for the black community, it was made for one group of people. One group. Throughout the whole Bible, they're talking about one group of people. And that is us. And because it was made for us, if a lot of these pastors was really working with God and not against him, I just be feeling like sometimes maybe they don't know. But we wouldn't be so far astray as we are. We're gone completely away from God, a lot of us. Because a lot of stuff has been watered down. They doing stuff just for offering. The guy, this guy, he said that he was in the church, like, he pretty much grew up in the church. And he said that one time when the pastor said, if you don't give an offering, you ain't going to heaven. He said, what type of stuff is that? And he was like, I ain't messing with this church no more. Like, stuff like that. Because the church is starting to use it as a dollar sign, trying to take from the congregation. And now you pushing people away. And now you judging them too heavy. But the thing is, because people don't want to be held accountable, you think you can do stuff and somebody supposed to just pacify you. No, you was big and bold and bad enough to do it. Be big and bad enough to take accountability for doing that thing. Nobody's going to sit there and say, well, it's okay, baby. No, I'm here to support you. We're going to work through this thing. But I need to let you know, you were wrong for what you did. Because even God is going to chastise you. No, you're not getting away from that. You cannot play the victim in every situation. Even if you are the victim. Because you take a part in it. We all take a part in it. A lot of us, though, live with this victim mentality. We feel like, well, this happened to me. Why? Well, you're not the only person that has happened to. And it doesn't negate the fact that it happened to you. And I'm sorry it happened to you. What part did you take in it, though? Some things are out of your control, especially for things that happen to little kids. We know what goes on with them when people try to take their innocence. They're innocent. In that case, you are literally the victim. And a lot of times when you're the victim, you are the victim, but you don't stay in that victim mentality. You have to figure out, hey, I messed up too. Where did I go wrong in this situation? A lot of us that has been in domestic violence relationships may still be in these relationships. What part did you take in that? Yes, it's not your fault. I don't care what you said out your mouth. It's not your fault why this person put their hands on you. But I guarantee you saw a red flag way before it really escalated to that point. And this is the part where you got to take accountability. And I'm just using this example, but for any situation, you have to take accountability for why you got in that situation. Why is that happening to you? How did it get this far? Because you were codependent. You didn't know when to leave. You were looking for validation. You were looking for likeness. You were looking for love in all the wrong places. Like a lot of these kids, these young boys or young girls, looking for love in all the wrong places. You're not getting love at home, so now you out in the streets. You linking up with boys doing stuff that they doing that really go against what you really would want to do, but you want to fit in. Same for the girls. You're not really into that. This is not really who you are. Like now, these girls, the IG girls got other girls wanting to fit this aesthetic and to be on this whole fly me out and pay all my bills and tricking and all of this mess that they got going on. And some of these girls, I be like this one girl, I'm like, that's not even you, shorty. Like, you not them. You watching the video and seeing the other girl, like, the other girl, you can tell she's really a hoe. You're not really a hoe for real. You wasn't raised like that. You didn't go through the same thing that this girl went through. And I already told you a lot of times, I think it was, which video was that Portals video? A lot of times, the girls that's the hoes is because they have been molested. They have been raped. They're promiscuous because of what has happened to them. That was at no fault of their own. But it's a spirit that's now on them. And now you want to be like these girls because they seem to be using their body to get what they want. But you don't even know that they were groomed to believe that their body is only valuable for that, for exchanging, for activities, for money, for things like that, because of the person who took advantage of their body. Now it's like you find empowerment with your body and you're like, I'm going to use my body to get what I want. But you, as a girl who's not like that, that stuff didn't happen to you, but you wanting to fit the image and fit the likeness of these other girls so you can be an it girl, that girl, whatever the other crap is that they be saying. You want to be like these girls, so now you trying to fit an aesthetic that's not you. You trying to do what these girls doing. Now you going out here doing the stuff that these girls doing. You keep getting pregnant, aborting them all. Like this whole abortion crew shit that's going on. Excuse my language. That stuff, like to see so many girls, even with me at one point, I know deep in my heart, I'm against that. I don't care what nobody say. I'm against abortion 100%. That's shedding innocent blood. And I've always been against that. But because, you know, I'll see them talking there when I used to be on Twitter, you know, I'll jump in with my little stuff, you know, act like, you know, what we say, abortion, like the little jokes about abortion. When really, it's not funny, it's not cute, and I don't believe in abortion. I really don't get down with that. So it's like, I don't have to fit in with you girls because y'all making jokes about abortion when really I don't think that that's cute, and I don't think that it's funny. I don't think it's funny to take an innocent life. And yes, it's a life. Once it has a heartbeat, it's a life, and a heartbeat is what comes first before all the limbs come. So once it's a heartbeat, baby, it's a soul. It's a soul, period. Argue with your mama. Don't argue with me on that. For those who want to, you know, rebuttal that. It's a soul. It has a heartbeat. That's what you hear first before that baby start growing. So once it has a heartbeat, baby, it's a life, period. But you got these girls want to fit in with the other girls. You want to fit in with people because you don't want to be the oddball out. Like when it comes to this whole abortion thing, I'm definitely an oddball out. I'm not standing. So many girls are pro-choice. I'm pro-life. I'm not pro-choice. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. And God not with it. And this is why we will pay for that. This is why you have to repent for that. You know, it's not to necessarily condemning this video, but I'm against it and God is, and that's why he using me, because I'm not with that. And I even told you I was considering getting an abortion with this baby right here, but it just didn't sit right in my spirit. Even beyond her father saying, oh, you're a murderer, because I told him I was going to get the abortion or whatever, because I really knew you wasn't ready to really be a daddy, even though you want to be a daddy. You're not really ready, like, and I didn't want you holding me up, me with the baby, but I'm like, I'm pregnant now. I have to keep my baby because I'm not going through that. I'm not going to go kill my baby. Like, I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to take what comes with it and keep it pushing. But I say all of this to say is we try to do stuff to fit in with society, fit in with the other girls, fit in with the guys, and you doing stuff that you're going to end up regretting in the end. You're doing stuff that's going to make you feel like you're going to feel shame and guilt about it. And then you're going to feel like God won't forgive you because you did this thing. Once you find out that what you did was really wrong and you've held in all this guilt inside, now you're going to be feeling like you can't turn to God, but you can still turn to God. He will forgive you. It don't mean that he's going to be easy on you. He going to still show you some tough love and make you work for what you did. It's consequences and repercussions for your actions, period. It don't matter if you're a chosen one or not a chosen one. It don't matter. Just like as our parents, when you do stuff, you're going to get reprimanded for that. You can't just be cutting up in school. You can't just be stealing money out my purse. You can't just be doing what you want to do because there's rules and regulations as your mother and as your father. And as in this household, you got to abide by certain rules. And as God's house, this whole world, the whole earth, this is his house. It's his house. Yeah, he didn't kick Satan down to have his little dominion down here. Woo da woo da woo. But at the end of that, everything is still God's because God created everything. Satan created nothing. Satan created nothing. And because God created it, there is rules and regulations that we have to follow. And anything outside of that, you're going to get reprimanded for. You're going to get in trouble for. You're going to get rebuked. And you're going to have to make your sacrifices, your offerings, as your apologies, as your sin offering, your burnt offering, like they did in the Bible. You did that. Okay, now I need my guilt offering. Now I need that sin offering. What are you going to offer up for that sin that you committed? What are you going to offer up? Because you're guilty. So now you need to give me an offering. Just how we do in relationships, you do so the person who do the wrong to you, they want to come bring you back flowers, write you love letters, send you, you know how these dudes do. Trying to send you money, buy you guilt trip, buy bags, buy stuff to guilt you because they know they just messed up. That's what we have to also do to God when we mess up out here in the world every single day. Bring your offering. And then change behavior has to come behind it. These narcs and these manipulators who want to buy us stuff and send money and stuff as a offering so you cannot be mad at me no more. No, baby. Thank you for the money. I'm going to take your offering, but I still need some change behavior behind that. God, that's how God operates. And that's how I know I'm his daughter, because that's how I operate. Okay, yes, thank you for the money. Thank you for the flowers. Thank you for all the sweet gestures. But yeah, I need some change behavior behind that. Period. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So God will forgive you. He's going to show tough love. You got to earn your spot. You got to work back. You got to work that trust back. And now I need to know that I can trust you now. I need to know that you're not going to go out here and do that same thing again. I need to know that you're not going to come tell me you're sorry for doing those wicked acts, and then I forgive you, and then you go right back and do the same thing and hurt me again, because now we're hurting God's feelings again. Look at how we do in our relationships. Your man come apologize to you for cheating on you, whatever. I'm just using that as an example. And you accept his apology, and then he go do it again. This time it gets worse, and maybe now he gets somebody pregnant on you. Now your feelings are extra hurt, and you're really broken, and trust is really messed up. That's how it is with God. Because it's like, okay, I forgave you, I gave you grace, and you gonna go back and do it again? It's like a smack in my face. That's how God feel about us. You gonna go back and do it again? All right, now you gotta work double for this. Now you gotta work double hard this time. Now I'm gonna send you on a journey to really test to see if you really love me, if you really ride for me, to see if I really should give you another chance. So now you gotta prove that I should give you another chance this time, because I cut you slack the first time. This time, I'm not cutting you slack. You gonna put in a little bit more work this time to prove that you won't do that again. And if you prove that I see your heart, because God judges the heart, he sees that, okay, this person is really learning their lesson. All right, I can lighten it up a little bit on them. I can lighten it up on you now, because this person's learning their lesson. But you have to learn the lesson. You have to really change your behavior. It's about change behavior. It's not just about talking. It's not just about talking. It's about, y'all, I ran out of storage. So I forgot where I left off at, but I said enough anyway. Don't run away from God. Run to God. When you're going through these issues, these are the times to run to him, not away from him, because he's the only one who can deliver you from whatever it is that you're going through. Okay? He knows what happened. He knows what you did and what the other person did. He knows. Okay? Don't run from him, run to him to help deliver you from those spirits that you're battling. Those evil spirits that has been placed on you, that you have unknowingly signed deals with. Because I done told y'all how we unknowingly, a lot of us, we don't understand that we unknowingly sign deals with the devil. Especially, like I said, when we do these abortions, when we go trying to take bodies, trying to fit in for the guys, when you want to fit in, you go catch a body. Now you taking a deal with the devil, and you don't even know though, because you're doing it out of a place of being lost. A lot of us are lost, and this is why God will give you grace, because he wants to get to you so he can awaken you, so he can awaken your third eye, so that you won't do that again, so that you know better and can now do better. But once you know better, he do hold you more accountable than when you didn't know better. So either way, you guys, don't run from God. He the one that can help you with all your problems. Run to him. Don't run away from him because of what somebody else said, because of what the pastor said, because of what the church did. God is not the pastor. God is God. There's no one before him. There's no one that can replace him. He is the Alpha, the Omega. Okay? So I'm going to leave it here before I run out of storage again. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.